Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you are new here. My name's Christina. So today's going to be a huge unhaul video, which I haven't done, I don't think, in a while or ever here on my channel. But yeah, I decided that it's a new year, so it's time to unhaul books that I know I'm not going to read anymore, or I've lost interest in reading, so I'm never going to pick up. So that's what we're doing today. It's the new year, like I said, so time to unhaul so that way we can bring in new books. So it's going to be a big one, a long one, hopefully not too long, but we're just going to go ahead and jump into the unhaul. Also, if I offend anybody by getting rid of your favorite books, I'm sorry, but it's either I didn't like them or I probably won't ever read them again. So it is what it is. So anyways, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into today's unhaul. So I don't know where exactly to begin, so I guess I'm just going to start with the first book here. So one of them I didn't mean to put right here, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and talk about Heart of Flames by Nikki Preto. So this is the second book in Crown of Feathers. Crown of Feathers I absolutely loved. This one I did not love so much. It was a bit boring, if I'm going to be completely honest. So yeah, I'm unhauling it because I don't think I'll ever reread this book again. And if I do, I can always just rent it from my local library. And I haven't even read book 3 yet, so I think if I ever get the urge to pick up book 3, then again I'll just go and see if my local library has it, rent it there, or see if Libby has it and pick it up there. So yeah, I'm getting rid of this one. The first one I absolutely love, so I'm gonna keep the first one, but the second one, it's going. The next book I'm going to be getting rid of is The Hex X by Erin Sterling. I'm getting rid of this one, not because I didn't like it. I actually enjoyed this one, but I don't think I'll ever reread it again. So yeah, that's why I'm getting rid of it. I do plan on picking up the second one to read it, but I won't pick that one up till fall time. But yeah, I'm getting rid of this one because it's just a book that I don't see myself ever rereading, and if I ever get the urge to pick it up again, then I'll just borrow it from the library, but I don't feel like it needs to be on my shelf. The next book I'm getting rid of is The Devil's Thief by Lisa Maxwell. This is the second book in the trilogy, and I'm also getting rid of the first one, which is The Last Magicians as well. When I read The Last Magicians the first time, I thought it was okay. It did intrigue me enough to want to pick up the second one, but when I reread the first one, it really did bore me, and I haven't had no interest in picking this one up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of it because I don't ever see myself picking it up. But if I ever hear the hype around it again and I end up getting interested in it again, then again I'll just pick it up from the library. But for the most part, I don't think the books need to be left on my shelf because I really have like a strong feeling like I'm over it. The next two books I will be sharing, or I'll be getting rid of, are books that are part of a series, but I'm gonna get rid of them. This is the Shauna Maguire Wayward series. This is book 1 and 2, I believe. Yeah, I have been enjoying them, and I really wanted to get all of them, but honestly, like, I don't think I need them. I'm not like obsessed with them like that. I will continue the series, but I'll continue them through like my local library. So yeah, I'm getting rid of them because I don't feel like I need them. I'm not obsessed with them enough for me to keep collecting them. So yeah, I'm getting rid of these ones, and like I said, I'll just continue the series through my local library or Libby app. I'll be getting rid of The Whisper Man by Alex North. This was a psychological thriller that I picked up, or yeah, I got this for my birthday. I enjoyed it, actually. I really enjoyed it a lot, but I don't feel like I'll ever reread it again because it's kind of tricky when it comes to like mysteries and thrillers about me rereading them because I already know the plot. It's different for like fantasy. If I really enjoyed a fantasy book, I can definitely reread it and experience it for the first time, probably even more though when I read it again. But like these types of books, I feel like once I've read them and I know what happens, there's no rereading them because I already know. I don't know, it's weird. I'm weird like that. I don't know if anybody else is like that, but yeah, I really enjoyed this one though. Definitely recommend if you're looking for a psychological thriller. It's kind of spooky as well, but yeah, just I don't need it on my shelf. The next one is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. This one again was another good one, but it's the same concept. I've already read it. I already know what happens. If I read it for the second time, it won't give me that thrill effect like it did the first time. So yeah, it's still a good book though. If you're looking for another thriller-ish, psychological thriller-ish book, definitely pick this one up. It's really good. It's about a marriage, mistress, murder. It's good. Next one I'm getting rid of is A Fault in Our Stars by John Green. I picked this one up a long time ago. I want to say like when I first got into BookTube, I picked this one up and I wanted to read it so bad because I felt like it would give me those emotional tears, the journey that I've been searching for in a book. I've already watched the movie so many times, and I still haven't picked it up after buying it, so I don't think I'll ever pick it up, if I'm being completely honest. It's just time for me to move on from it. So yeah, I'm getting rid of it. The next couple books I'm getting rid of are these little mass market holiday books that I got a long time ago, or like a couple years ago, from the nursing home I used to work at. I wanted to keep these so bad, but it seems like I just don't gravitate towards them, and it's all of these right here. And again, I feel like these are books that I can find at the library if I ever feel like reading something cozy and Hallmarkish. So yeah, I'm definitely getting rid of these, and just maybe somebody else will enjoy them and read them. So these I'm getting rid of. The next book I'm getting rid of is this Nicholas Sparks A Walk to Remember book. I read it, watched the movie, loved both. Don't ever feel like I'll read the book again. I'll just watch the movie, and yeah, it's pretty much spot on from the movie. The book is from the movie, so yeah, I don't need it on my shelf. The next book I've been wanting to read for a very long time, but I never got around to it, and if I ever get the urge to actually sit down and read it, like I'm for sure gonna read it, then I'll just go pick it up from the library, and that is To Kill a Mockingbird by Harper Lee. I read this book back in 9th grade and I really enjoyed it, and I've been wanting to see, now that I'm an adult, how much I will understand it more. But like I said, when I do get the urge to read this book, then I'll go and see if the library has it or Libby, and I'll just borrow it from there, but I don't feel like I need it on my shelf anymore. The next book is The Diary of a Young Girl, Anne Frank. This is by Odo H. Frank and Mirja Pressler. So again, I used to get into these like historical moments where I wanted to read about like real things that happened, and I never got around to reading it. I never got around to reading it. And I feel like this one will probably be a little hard-hitting because of the whole situation that happened around this time with Anne Frank. So yeah, again, if I ever feel like I need, or if I ever get in that moment again where I want to read something like this, I'll go pick it up from the library. Alright, so I'm getting rid of Joanne Fluke and Laura Levine and Leslie Mayer's Christmas Suites. This is a 3-book in a book. So they're all like murder mysteries, somehow over some type of dessert. I think I read only 1 or maybe 2 out of the 3, and yeah, it was alright. Of course, I did enjoy the Joanne Fluke one for sure, and the other ones, I've never read anything from these authors, but yeah, anytime I feel like, I think I'm getting to a point where if I want to read cozy mysteries, I'm just gonna go pick them up from the library instead of purchasing them. I feel like it's just smarter that way because I end up getting rid of them. So there's gonna be a lot of those cozy mysteries that you're gonna be seeing that I'm gonna get rid of, and I'm just gonna pick them up from the library. The other one I'm getting rid of, or I'm unhauling, is Bait and Witch by Angela M. Sanders. I liked this one a lot. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought it was really cute, but honestly, I could just borrow it from Scribd or Libby, or my local library if I want the physical copy in hand and reading along with the audio or whatever. I can definitely pick it up. Don't need it on my shelves, but they're really cute, and I was kind of wanting to keep them because they are super cute, but like I said, I don't need them on my shelf if I'm not gonna read them, this one specific, over again. So if I ever want to continue with like the little series, I can just go borrow it from my library. Mint Chocolate Murder by Marie Allen, another cozy mystery that I'm gonna say goodbye to because I don't need it on my shelf. Agatha Christie, and then there were none. Yeah, I didn't like this one at all, so I'm unhauling it. It wasn't as good as I thought it was gonna be. It was kind of just all over the place, and it just wasn't a vibe at all, so I'm getting rid of it. The next one is No Exit by Taylor Adams. This one was actually given to me, but I don't feel like I'm ever gonna read it. It's just gonna sit on my shelves, so I'm just gonna get rid of it because I have no more interest in it, and I'm just moving on from it. These next books are from the same author. This one is The Mirror Sisters by V.C. Andrews. Again, I was so obsessed with V.C. Andrews books. They were kind of like a guilty pleasure, but also, as I would think of it now, like they're a little bit weird when it comes to the stories. So the one I read and finished out of like a little series was the Sweet Audrina one by V.C. Andrews. That one, thinking back on it, was so fucking weird, especially like with the dad being obsessed with the daughter and wanting the daughter to like idolize him in a like weird way, and then only to find out that she was sexually assaulted at a very young age, and they were giving her tranquilizers to like suppress those memories so she would never remember it again, and they convinced her that she just had very faulty memory. So like all the bad dreams that she would have about that event, they would just tell her it's just bad dreams, her memory's just weird. And yeah, it was just a weird series in general, and it got even weirder in the second book. Now this one, however, this is not the one I'm talking about, but The Mirror Sisters, I feel like it's gonna be somewhat like that, where it's gonna have some weird stuff, uncomfortable stuff, and I think I'm over it already. Like yeah. And that means that these ones as well are going. These are Flowers in the Attic, Petals on the Wind, and If There Be Thorns. So this is like incest. Brother and sister fall in love with each other and have kids, or yeah, they fall in love with each other. I really used to love the movie back then, and I think a couple years back I read The Flowers in the Attic as like a guilty pleasure is what I would call it, but honestly, like, it's so weird. It really is. So I'm not gonna continue the series because I don't need to. It's weird. And I'll be unhauling It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I read this book, I enjoyed it, but I don't need it on my shelves, so I'm gonna get rid of it. And if I ever do want to like go and buy it, I'll get like the other copy of it, like the traditional paperback instead of the mass market, just to keep with my Colleen Hoover collection. But for the most part, read it, enjoyed it, moving on. Next book I'm unhauling is The Safe Place by Anna Downs. Got this was given to me. It sounded really interesting, but honestly I don't feel like I'll ever pick it up, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Next book I'm unhauling is The Girl in the Mirror by Rose Carlisle. I read this one in October, I believe, and I thought it was interesting, but then it got super weird and confusing at the end. So yeah, I don't feel like I would ever read this book again, because I had to literally read the end twice and I still don't know what happened. So yeah, I don't need to read it again, so getting rid of it. The next book I'm getting rid of is Girl Interrupted by Suzanne Kaysen. So I wanted to pick this one up because I saw on TikTok that the book was actually better than the movie, but honestly, like, I was so confused with this book, and it's very small. I think I got to like maybe 70 pages and I had to just DNF because I don't understand. I basically picked this book up to understand like the main characters in the movie more, you know, like their backstory, and I got nothing from it. I literally got nothing from it, so DNF'd. I would just watch the movie. I prefer the movie, and that's all I'm saying about that. The next book I'm unhauling is The Holiday Swap by Maggie Knox. I did enjoy this one. I thought it was really cute, really cozy, very Hallmark-ish, but I won't reread it. I don't need to reread it. There will be more books like this out there or in the near future, so if I ever have the urge to read something like this, I'll just pick up a new read or borrow something from the library. But I mean, overall it was cute, but I don't need it. The next book I'm getting rid of is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delilah Owens. I read this one with the book club, and I did not like it, and I wanted to DNF it so bad, but I ended up just finishing it with them. It just, I just have no words for it. I didn't like it. I really didn't. That's just being completely honest. It felt very like I was reading a science book more than reading like the story itself. I mean, it was boring. There were some things that I just did not vibe with. I did not like, especially when it came to like the main character Kaya, and then like how they treated her, and then like the other people of color. It was just very gross, and overall like it was just a boring ass book, and I'm getting rid of it because I don't need it. Next book I'm getting rid of is Joanne Fluke, another Laura Levine, Leslie Meyer mashup. This is Gingerbread Cookie Murder. Read it. I thought it was okay. Obviously I love Joanne Fluke because I'm biased, obviously, I think. But yeah, I'm getting rid of it. I don't need it. If I need to read cozy murder mysteries, I'll just go to the library. The next book I am getting rid of, which will probably be a surprise to a lot of you, is The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood. This book was boring. It was so boring. It really was. I feel like this is like the most boring love story I've read this far, and I don't understand the hype, but I picked it up anyways because of the hype, and I didn't enjoy it, so I'm getting rid of it. The next book I'm getting rid of is From Scratch by Timby Locke. I had such high hopes for this book, and I was super underwhelmed with it. I almost DNF'd this book, but I pushed through it. I was even going to do a dedicated reaction video to it, but there was no reactions at all to this book. If anything, I reacted more to the show. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a very tragic love story, but for the most part, it just wasn't doing it for me. So I'm gonna get rid of it. The next book I'm getting rid of is Daughter of the Pirate King by Trisha Levenseller. So I did like this one a lot, but I don't think I'll want to purchase the rest of the series. I'll just borrow it from the library. But other than that, like, I enjoyed it, but again, it's just one of those books that once I read it once, I don't need to read it again, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Another book I'm unhauling is You've Reached Sam by Dustin Teo. So this is another book that I was super excited to read and was underwhelmed by it. So I mean, it was good in some parts, but I just didn't get what I wanted from it, and I wish it was just a little bit more. But I mean, yeah, I don't need it. I won't reread it, so I'm just gonna move on. I'm unhauling Grown by Tiffany D. Jackson. I actually liked this book, but the thing about this book is I won't reread it. When I read it the first time, it was a little uncomfortable because of what the main character goes through. It was giving me very much like R. Kelly vibes for sure, even though it says it's not about R. Kelly, but it was very similar, especially with like being abused sexually and mentally, and it just was not, it had me super uncomfortable, especially when I knew what was going to happen and what was coming up. So yeah, just a book that I wouldn't reread, and if I were to recommend it, I would highly suggest you check out Trigger Warnings, because it was triggering and it did have me uncomfortable, but overall, like, the story itself was good. So like I said, if you want to read this book, just definitely look up Trigger Warnings. I am telling you, look them up because it's pretty deep. The Last Magicians by Lisa Maxwell. This is the first one to the other one that I showed you guys, but yeah, I'm getting rid of it. I don't have the urge to want to read this book or continue the series, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Next book I'm going to get rid of is Go Hex Yourself by Jessica Clare. I took forever to read this book. I had a good time with it, but it was very slow. I still enjoyed it though, but I know I won't reread this book ever again. I think there's another one that's already out or it's coming out, I'll just pick it up from the library, or borrow it from Libby or Script. But for the most part, like, I don't need the physical copy. It's just, it did what it needed to do. The next book I'm unhauling, but I'm actually sending over to my friend, is Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. So I'm unhauling this one because I'll be getting the Barnes & Noble's edition. I absolutely love the Barnes & Noble's edition better than this, which is crazy because this is gorgeous. This is really, really pretty. And I mean, it's stunning. It has cute in pages and art under the dust jacket and on the cover itself, but I just prefer the Barnes & Noble special edition cover to this. So yeah, I'm just gonna pass this along, but I'm rebuying it just in a different edition. The next one I'm getting rid of is Only a Monster by Vanessa Lynn. I thought this one was okay, but it just kind of bored me towards the middle of the book and the end. So I mean, I just wasn't feeling it at all, and I don't ever see myself continuing it if it's a series, so I'm just gonna get rid of it. Again, it's just a book I won't reread. The next books might hurt you a little bit because it kind of hurts me, but I just feel like I won't reread this series again, even though I'm obsessed with the new covers. But that is the Lunar Chronicles by Marissa Myers. I adore Marissa Myers' storytelling, but I just don't need these anymore because I know I won't reread them. They were good. They did what they needed to do, and it's just time for them to get off my shelves because I know I won't reread them ever again. And if I ever get the urge to want to read the Lunar Chronicles again, then I'll just go borrow them from the library. Y'all are gonna hear me say that a lot because it's true. Coming down to the last books, I have School for Good and Evil. This is book 1 by Shaman Chinani. I'm getting rid of this one. I watched the series. I read this one. I thought it was cute, but I don't think I'll continue the series, and if I do, I'll just borrow them from my library. But I honestly think I won't continue the series, so getting rid of it. The next two are Goosebump books. These are The Scarecrow Walks at Midnight and Night of the Living Dummy by R.L. Stine. I'm getting rid of them. I read them. I got these purely out of curiosity to see how spooky they really were. They were, you know, they're kids, middle grade, so they're not tended to be too scary, but they are pretty scary. If I was somebody intended for these to be for, read them, I definitely would be scared. But for the most part, I read them and I'm over it. They don't need to be on my shelves, so I'm getting rid of. Next one I'm getting rid of is a manga. This is My Hero Academia. This was actually my daughter. She bought it and put it on my shelf, and I'm just getting rid of it because she's never gonna read it. So yeah, coming down to the last 4, I have Monstrous by Marjorie Liu and Sana Takeda. Yeah, this book was kind of confusing when I read it the first time, and I wanted to read it again, but I just don't have the urge to want to read it. The artwork in here is really gorgeous. I was gonna say really stunning, but that didn't make sense in my mind, but it's gorgeous. I just don't see myself picking it up though, or picking up any other volumes, so I'm not gonna continue the series, and I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of the book. The next one is a Rick and Morty graphic novel. I wanted to see what this one was all about because I actually love Rick and Morty, like the cartoon, the TV show. I think it's so funny, it's hilarious. I wanted to read about it, but honestly I would just continue to watch the TV show. But nonetheless, like, I'm just gonna get rid of it because I don't need it. I really don't. The next 2 are Paper Girls volumes 1 and 2. This series confused the hell out of me, and I think it was a little bit racist if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, I don't know what's going on in this story. It's so confusing, and I've read it twice and I still don't know what's going on. So yeah, that is it for my book unhaul. I definitely will be getting rid of all these books. I don't know, I probably will go through my shelves one more time and do a last minute sweep because I want to definitely clear up books that I know I'm not gonna read and they're just collecting dust, and I feel like somebody else will appreciate them a little bit better. But yeah, that's it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Happy New Year's again, and I can't wait to see what 2023 brings us all. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.